Boo! Did I scare ya? Probably not, but I hope I did. Wouldn't really be a scares video if I didn't try to jump scare ya. Even if it's just a boo or a bleh or a bleh. Gotta try. But I had you guys thinking that I was just... My stream had frozen up. I had you guys. I know I did. Alright. Been waiting the whole time. Sorry, Prendo. Oh. Okay, come on. Alright. 6 videos again tonight, as always. We're going to start with King Frostmare. The scariest videos that will steal your... I'm not going crazy. I know I heard that. My dog heard it too. My dog heard it too. So you see, I'm not. You guys aren't the only ones that can get jump scared. It can happen to me too. Anyway, the scariest videos that will steal your sleep by King Frostmare. Let's go ahead and. Oh yeah. Why am I getting Steam notifications? I haven't turned Steam on yet. That's weird. Alright. Alright, let's do this.
Hello guys, now it is time for a new bunch of scary videos that we will check out together. And now, without further ado, let's buckle up and stay frosty.
That's the imagery you start off with, huh?
This video was recorded by DK Karen, a young girl from Indonesia who loves traveling and exploring. Today she seemed to be traveling to an old house in the region, which is supposed to be haunted, and it acts as a form of museum of the occult. Apparently it was even used as a filming location for an Indonesian horror film in the past, being interested in the mysterious side of things.
Okay, tell me that does not look like the well from The Ring.
Karen traveled to this house with 2 of her friends to record a little bit and to capture the spirit of this creepy location. Many people are sure that they captured something really scary this day, and while they were touring the upper floor, nobody else was in the house. They were absolutely certain about that. However, when filming the location from the outside, there seemed to be somebody on the upper floor, although nobody should have been in the building.
Perasaan ada foto si ibunya deh.
Ada.
Di dalam kan?
Di dalam ada.
Ada yang tahu rumah ini?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I saw it.
Pengabdi.
No, I gotta say, it looks pretty edited. It looks like good editing more than it does a Paranormal Entity. See, look at even the way it moves. It just kind of glides. You know, it doesn't really step. It just kind of glides.
Of course we don't know if that's true, but what makes this whole incident even more creepy is the way this person up there is staring at our camera woman. and then just floats back into the dark room. It is a pale figure, and I can't see it taking any steps. It's literally hovering back. The friends didn't notice anybody on the second floor at that time. It looks like it will always stay a mystery.
It's either editing or kind of like one of those little theme park attraction kind of things where, you know, that's like a still figure looking out and then it just kind of like pulls back in a little bit. But paranormal, no.
The following was captured by a man who found these recordings on his home surveillance camera, which he has placed in the living room. He had to do this since loud bangs were waking him up lately. They were always stemming from the living room area. However, never did he notice anything when checking. He uploaded this video to Reddit and stated, "Can anyone confirm this is real? Captured this on Blink camera." Something weird is moving on the left side of the screen. Could it be the reason for his nightly disturbance? Some say it could just be a bug or maybe spider webs.
Okay, now one thing I'm already noticing right off the bat with this thing is that while it is moving, it's not like contorting. You know, it's not like twisting or contorting and all that. So, my initial reaction is that it's a toy snake up against a really bright light to give off the effect that it's something paranormal. Because if you look real closely, there's a lot of lighting in that room. A lot of lighting. So, and the fact that this thing isn't like contorting at all makes me think that, you know, while it is there, it's not paranormal.
But the majority of people is actually not sure. What do you think? The following video was sent by Antonio. It was apparently recorded by a young man who was jogging one day when he heard some really odd noises behind him. He also states that shortly after, something seemed to be running after him, which scared him quite a bit. These parts of the local woods are apparently home to a local legend, which speaks of an evil entity or spirit that for whatever reason can be seen here, based on several reports. He speaks of a little boy that he saw there that was walking around in the woods. As he documents the situation further, for safety, he notices a weird mannequin in the distance.
Güey, es un maniquí, güey. Güey, la neta estoy bien asustado ya, güey. Porque aunque yo vengo a correr aquí todos los días, la neta es que ya había escuchado historias de que ya dentro del bosque pasaban cosas, pero como nunca me había pasado nada a mí, la neta yo me sentía como que todo estaba... Ay, tranquilízate. Ay, güey. No, güey. A ver, yo no quiero creer en estas cosas. Y tú no te pudiste haber movido. Entonces te voy a grabar hasta que te muevas, ¿va? Y no te vas a mover.
Well, we're waiting.
Padre nuestro que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre, venga a nosotros tu reino.
As he takes a better look at that mannequin, a dark apparition pops up right behind it, and it scares him so much at that mannequin.
Padre nuestro que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre, venga a nosotros tu reino.
That was a good little jump scare, but come on.
As he takes a better look at that mannequin, a dark apparition pops up right behind it.
That's obviously staged.
Out of these woods as fast as he can. He states that he has no idea what exactly transpired that day, but that he had nightmares for a long time after this. Understandable.
I will say this much about it at least. At least unlike the first two videos, it actually scared me.
The following clip was forwarded by Mordem X, and he tells me that it was recorded during a family gathering in South America. The aunt of the two little boys was recording them at the time, as they were playing around with a tricycle. Nothing weird happened that day, nothing that was really noticed at least. However, when the woman was checking the video later with her husband, they found something really strange popping up in the mirror.
Okay,
The
this is
woman
something to
stated
work with.
that nobody was standing behind her and that everybody else was sitting at the table at the time. So how do we explain this head popping up? Was it something paranormal? Maybe a deceased family member?
Now, if we're to believe her story, that no one was behind her, then yes, this is interesting. But she could just been, lying to make it seem realistic. This was a 50-50 for me, but at least I'm not outright saying yeah, it's a fake like the rest of them so far. Yeah, I don't know. I'm on the fence with this one. Come on, Frostmare, give me something that's real here.
This video was captured by two friends who were on their way to another friend, who based on their statements was living in a rural area outside of town. After hearing some unexplained screams in the distance,
I've seen this
one of
video.
them
I've seen
pulled
this
out his
before.
phone to record what was going on, and indeed, he seemed to have captured a really odd creature in the distance.
Wait a second. I think I see a. I thought I seen a big buck or something. Wait, stop right there. What is that? Is it a buck?
What is that?
Dude, that's.
Some people speculate that this is another sighting of the ray creature, which is said to be home to these areas. Could that be so? It's really hard to say what
Either that or it's a crazy woman.
exactly was captured that day. Or should I say night. If it wasn't just a setup by a friend or so, maybe we are looking at something mysterious here.
It has good atmosphere. That
Danny
was.
Donahue, who has captured several really terrifying sightings in his apartment, brings us another really thrilling encounter, which was taking place during the day this time. He mostly has shared these happenings during night times, so this one came as a surprise to everybody involved. As per usual, Danny can notice some inexplicable moaning noises from his bathroom. And the bathroom was home to many scary moments in the
I
past.
see it. I saw it already. Right there. That's either a head sticking out or a clock. No, it's a clock. Wait a minute. Hold on. You had me. You had me for a little bit. And then you had to throw out this poorly rendered CGI model. I mean, look at the fingers. Look at the thing. They're not even rendered fully.
The shadow being was seen in his apartment many times before.
Oh yeah, I guess I should turn the playback speed back to normal.
Some believe it to be the spirit of a woman that is haunting this place for no particular reason. Strange, isn't it?
No, it's not strange.
Whatever we are looking at
That's
here,
bad
it's
CGI.
definitely nightmarish.
You better finish this up with a good one, King Frostmer, because this has been disappointing.
The following is an update of the bone-chilling dogman encounter that has surfaced last week. The same man kept finding this creature in the woods right in front of his house, and yet again he could pull out his phone and record this weird creature. Which, as stated before, seems to be some form of dog creature. Isn't this simply terrifying?
Okay, well, I can at least say this much about it. At least whatever it is actually there. Look at the way it moves. It's so smooth. Yeah, that's actually there, whatever that is. Whether it's actually a dogman or just someone
Isn't
in a
this
costume,
simply terrifying?
I don't know. Again, I'm 50-50 on this one. But at least it's not bad CGI. At least if it is a fake, someone put some effort into it.
We will keep an eye open for even more of these encounters.
Okay, not gonna lie, that imagery right there is creepy.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
At least a little bit more effort went into that one. Alright, next up is top 15. Top 15 scary videos people are losing their minds over.
Number 15. A dad and a daughter are all smiles as they board an elevator. The ride is smooth and they look at themselves in the mirror for about 30 seconds, completely unaware of how unsafe they actually are. Minutes later, the empty elevator is ripping past floors with enough speed to shake the entire carriage. The door is slightly open and nothing is working properly as the lift slams into the roof hard enough to dislodge panels and light fixtures. Thankfully, no passengers were on board. But had the two from earlier still been inside, it would have been a daddy-daughter demise for certain. I can only wonder how many times something like this has almost happened to you or me without realizing. Number 14. This older video from Japan seems to suggest that military cloaking technology has been available for quite some time. It almost looks like a top secret promotional sales video that somehow got leaked to the public over the years. Here you can see a Japanese soldier covered in reflective materials that are designed to bend light around his body, rendering him completely invisible. Listen to this part and try to translate what he is saying if you can. It's late at night when an unusual looking mist makes the driver pull over and start recording. Something is off about the scenery. It doesn't look or feel natural, and less than a minute later, this appears directly in front of them. First orbs dance all around, and then the fog clumps together to form a phantom reaching out. I've never seen fog behave like this, and the way it rises looks just like a person standing up. There's no denying the shape is human, and if you look close enough, you can make out its entire body. Head, shoulders, arms, and all. The phantom vanishes as quickly as it came.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes,
leaving the person standing by the side of the road wondering what they really just saw. Number 12. A broken power line wraps itself around a traffic light in Manchester, New Jersey, and this utility worker has to safely retrieve it. He grabs the fallen end and whips it over with all of his might. The line dislodges after 3 tries, but unluckily for him, it lands directly in a pothole filled with water, and the current carries clear across the road. The whole reason he doesn't drop lifelessly to the ground must be his yellow suit, which I assume is fully insulated to protect against high voltage electricity.
It's rubber.
He runs away as a spectacular light show darkens the sky above. The video is taken from the dash cam of a Manchester police officer who is directing traffic away from the power line as a precaution against this very event. Number 11. This is apparently police dash cam footage from Arizona. The officer is clearly on highway patrol at night, and after a short while, he takes a turn down a dirt road. This is where he spots a woman standing alone in the road with some small embers near her feet. Though it originally appears she is standing with her back turned to the police officer. Soon after, she lifts up her arms, and there appears to be 2 glowing eyes facing the officer. The footage ends shortly after with no further explanation. I searched but couldn't find any footage of the incident after this part, so we may never know what happened next to this officer or this woman with glowing eyes. Number 10. It's 2 in the morning.
That was creepy. I have no explanation for that one.
And a man is walking home from work in Dayton, Ohio, when the ground opens up beneath his feet and swallows him whole.
Just walking casually walking, and the concrete underneath me collapsed.
Before he knows it, he is staring up at a complete stranger who is pointing a camera at him from about 10 feet above. Also sticking up from the ground like a spear next to him is a broken piece of steel bar used to reinforce the sidewalk. It gave way just a few feet from where he landed and nearly went straight through him, somehow despite falling through a jagged chunk of sidewalk. A YouTuber named Stirrin's Wild World is grabbing some firewood from a pile when she notices something small and dangerous moving from within. You probably don't see anything, and neither did I at first. Without some hesitation, she carefully uses a grabbing stick to extract the beast from its hiding spot.
More venom.
It's a snake. Ugh.
More venom.
It's not just any cobra, it's a cobra that actually spits venom. The sight fills her with fear and fascination. Watch as she keeps its mouth pointed away from her as she examines its body. Number 8.
Yeah, you're crazy, girl.
Say Neo barely manages
But it's not paranormal, so we're moving on.
to turn his live stream on and say hello before something unexplainably paranormal happens behind him. The window somehow goes from being tightly shut to wide open in less than 10 seconds without a sound. If I'm not mistaken, this type of window doesn't even open from the outside, meaning that somebody had to be standing in the room to even push it open. Zayneo quickly searches his house in less than a minute and finds no one else is home, but when he crosses into the living room, the batteries in his smoke alarm go off for no reason at all. I know this part is real because this is the first time you hear the smoke alarm beep in the entire video.
Okay. Oh, okay. Smoke alarm malfunction.
The smoke alarm going off, combined with the window opening by itself, is enough to convince me that this is probably paranormal. Number 7. Todd T captures a large humanoid-looking figure going down his neighbor's chimney. He's too far away to pick up any discernible details, but the creature looks to be far too large to be a bird or pretty much any other animal. Whatever this is, it looks to be the size of a human. The mysterious creature stuffs itself down the chimney in less than a minute, at which point I'm guessing it roams around the interior of the home for whatever it can find. What happened to Todd's neighbor is anyone's guess. Number 6. This neighborhood in Land O'Lakes, Florida.
Wow. Was it a person? I know that's weird to say this, but let's hope that was a person just going in to rob them. I hate to think a creature like the size of a human would do to a person just out of pure instinct.
Florida was built on shaky ground, and now the earth is reclaiming the houses as its own. Within the course of 9 hours, this house is completely snapped in half and sinking into a swell of groundwater so deep that it engulfs a palm tree with ease.
The water, see how much water?
¿Y si lo pasa a nosotros?
Titanic, the home edition.
Hours later, the sinkhole has easily quadrupled in size and is busy dismantling a second house. There is nothing that can be done as the foundation is ripped away. Here.
I'm sorry. Did anyone else hear that security alarm?
Here you can see how close this third pink house comes to being lost in the abyss. Only a small strip of land protects its corner from going under, but somehow it holds firm and the family is able to recover their belongings. Sadly, all of the remaining houses had to be condemned because even though they were spared this time, the sinkhole could randomly widen at any minute. It's a terrible situation, but perhaps most terrifying is that moments before their eventual collapse, you would never suspect that anything was wrong. All of the houses look structurally sound in these photos taken months prior. The yards and driveways look level, the telephone poles stand straight up without leaning, and the roads likewise look smooth and have little cracks. In other words, exactly like your neighborhood probably looks right now. Number 5. This house is supposedly haunted, and the family room reportedly has the most activity out of anywhere. As you can see in this close-up shot, there is nothing out of the ordinary about this mirror at all. But once the paranormal investigation is underway, a woman's colorless face appears in the upper left quadrant. She is staring directly at the camera with 2 black holes for eyes. Her thin lips and nose clearly visible. As far as I can see, there is nothing in the room that could cast such a strangely vivid reflection. Number 4.
What are you doing here now?
This video supposedly comes from a captured alien who is being held somewhere within the Area 51 outpost. When they ask it where it is from, the alien gives a surprising response. It goes on to explain that traveling through time is the same as traveling through space, though his answers always remain cryptic and sometimes impossible to understand. This video is probably not real because the alien sounds like a basic voice changer app, but then again it does look very lifelike and convincing at times, especially when it becomes displeased.
I will say this much, if it's fake, very masterfully done.
And ends the interview abruptly. Number 3. Something has crawled up this poor woman's leg and refuses to come out. Her friend almost has it by the tail, but then at the last second it does the unthinkable and burrows even deeper. The scared animal probably would have gone up way higher if she didn't stand up in time and let gravity force it back down. She is either trying not to scream or lose her lunch as her friend tries again, this time wrapping its tail around his index finger. He manages to extract a giant rat and quickly puts it back in its container. The rat looks used to being handled, and this is probably the only thing that kept it from trying to bite and scratch its way out.
Oh, it's just a rat. And, I get it. People are afraid of rats. It's understandable, but I grew up with pet rats, and I see a video like that, and it's like, oh, it's just a rat.
Number 2. World powers have been locked in a secret underground race to control the fate of the atmosphere itself. China, Russia, and the US are working on a new microwave technology that can jam radio signals by heating up a small portion of the sky to 212 degrees Fahrenheit. The new technology puts out up to 260 megawatts of energy into the atmosphere at one time, roughly the equivalent of an entire city, and blocks all major frequencies from receiving signal. Now it seems the US has taken the technology and put it on fighter jets. We still aren't sure what heating up the atmosphere will do to the Earth in the long run, but it could possibly worsen existing environmental problems. It's hard to tell what effects this will have on nearby civilian populations, though I doubt it will be anything good. Based on what you've seen here, let me know if you think the world has gone too far with this technology, and if we should put limits on its usage. I've got a challenge for you. Since you've made it this far, Thomas Gilmer runs a computer store and often buys old computer equipment from his customers on the cheap. This time he gets a computer at a bargain price, and when he pops open the cover, he immediately understands why the seller was so quick to part ways. The inside is covered from end to end with the remains of thousands of dried up cockroaches, and to top it off, a single living spider crawls across this disgusting bug wasteland.
Look at that.
According to the description, the smell of the computer was just as repugnant as the site itself. All I know is that Thomas better hope that none of the bugs were alive and managed to scurry away. A single living roach could go on to infest this building as easily as it did this previous owner's home. Thanks for checking out this video.
That's disgusting. Alright, next up is a video from Chills, not his top 15 channel. Top 10 scary videos that'll make you breathe manually.
Some videos are so terrifying that you may catch yourself holding your breath. Number 10. Emergency landing. Imagine recording a selfie video after an emergency landing in the Pacific Ocean. That's what this pilot did in August of 2019 when two aircrafts were taking part in an aerial photo shoot. The video captures the aftermath of an emergency landing in Half Moon Bay near San Francisco. One of the planes, a single-engine Beechcraft Bonanza, malfunctioned, losing power. Video footage from above caught the landing, which was an admirably safe one, according to the pilot that managed to stay in the air. The downed pilot, David Leash, and his passenger both survived after Leash set the plane down nicely in the water. Leash then captured the aftermath of the incident on video while standing aboard the wing of the plane and later hanging onto pieces of floating items like seat cushions and window shades to help the pair tread water until rescuers arrived. The plane can be seen in the video going bottoms up, sinking nose first into the ocean. The pair, in fairly good spirits all things considered, managed their best to stay afloat, although David notes the water is quite cold.
The water's a little bit cold, but we're alright.
Cole, published to YouTube in December of 2019.
Love you, good night.
Brandon Gross writes, "My friend Danielle took me into one of the craziest caves I've ever seen. I'm very bad with tight spaces and decided to face my fears. Would he live to regret it?" The footage follows the pair squeezing into a tight slot. Holding onto a rope, they descend into what can only be a claustrophobic nightmare. As the underground cave gets tighter and more suffocating by the minute, the cave widens and narrows, but at one point, Brandon notes that the space into which he intends to squeeze is only as wide as the length of his foot. Slithering through the caves, they finally reach the bottom cavern. When they start to continue exploring the claustrophobic corners, Brandon experiences a brief panic attack but continues on, seeing his friend Danielle wriggle ahead as she navigates further restrictive spaces would make anyone squirm, and squirm logged. Are you heading out to a seaside restaurant tonight? You might want to reconsider. Published to YouTube by Ed Hadd in March of 2014. They wrote, Jill Freeland, the artist and videographer, was having breakfast this morning at Moby Dick's with her family and got a little more sea salt than was on the menu. The footage shows the restaurant overlooking a stormy gray sea. While the customers await their meal, they helplessly watch as the waves take on a life of their own. They probably think they're safe inside, but boy are they wrong.
Time to go.
The water crashes against the window and glass shatters as the spectators scream. Someone calmly says, "Time to go," and the customers are told to leave the restaurant, which they do without argument. It appears that no one was hurt in the incident, but they certainly saw firsthand how indifferent Mother Nature is to brunch. Number 7. Help me. Baby monitors sometimes capture that which we don't even know is there. This creepy clip was posted to r/ghosts by Zealous Ideal Call 53. It shows a monitor placed in a child's bedroom. The baby is playing while her guardian appears to be on her phone. All is normal until you turn up the sound. A growl of a voice snarls "help me" 3 times in a row at the beginning of the video. Neither the baby nor the young woman in the video appears to hear the voice. Is it crossed wires with a nearby baby monitor? Did someone hack the monitor's sound? Or is it an EVP capturing someone beyond crying out for help? The Redditor explains in the comments that this isn't the only strange occurrence in their house, and that paranormal events have regularly been happening since she was pregnant. The Redditor writes, "We've had another incident with her nanny cam and seeing a black shadow near her, an orb, and her suddenly waking up screaming. I've had issues in my own room with a feeling of..."
Well, at least we're captured on the nanny cam, then why aren't they on YouTube? That right there just makes me suspicious.
Someone watching me, breathing on my neck, severe night terrors, and missing items that suddenly return. Does this give more credence to the presence of a paranormal entity? My answer is yes. Number 6. Cork Crowbar Lurker. Better safe than sorry. This video proves that saying couldn't be more true. A mother in Cork, Ireland was threatened via letter by a former work colleague. In fact, he was watching her, and CCTV footage caught her terrifying ordeal on camera. After someone had painted her car tires pink and put X's and O's on the car's windows, as well as the message "I win." The homeowner, Una Ring, installed a CCTV camera outside her home. It captured her work colleague posting a menacing letter to the windshield of her car. What it said was so disturbing I can't say it here. Thankfully, a civilian police force known as Guardians of the Peace of Ireland were made aware of the lurker's threats and were surveilling Una's home. What followed was the lurker's escalation. He came around Una's with a crowbar in hand and was caught on camera approaching her property. He was also discovered to be in possession of rope and duct tape. The suspect was confronted by the protectors and was taken into custody. Una says she owes her life to them. The creep was given 5 years behind bars for his actions. Number 5. Phantom Theater. When performing at the theater, more often than not you hope to entertain, but some audience are not very
Oh, I remember this video. This is a good one. Finally, a good one.
lively. Originally published by YouTuber Phil Koch, this footage shows a paranormal investigation. While exploring a haunted theater, Phil kicks back in his theater seat, sitting alone in the dark room. A wide shot shows no one in the aisle behind Phil. The row is entirely empty. Little does he know he's in for more than a show. Watch the seat to his left behind him. While sitting there staring forward, the seat shudders back and forth, as if someone pushed it down to sit but then decided against it. Although he couldn't have seen the movement, the sound sends Phil fleeing the scene, likely without any desire for an encore. Perhaps this entire theater is reserved for the passed on, and he and his paranormal team disturbed a packed house. But another investigation by Phil is gaining much traction in the Spanish-speaking community. While investigating, this door opens right in front of him, and people are claiming to see this figure.
It's still back here again. And we'll take a look. Come on.
What do you think?
Okay, now this is actually explainable. Phil opened it back up and saw this exact same figure and investigated it. That's nothing but a mannequin.
I just know I wouldn't be going anywhere near that building. Number 4.
However, the door opening by itself, completely different story.
Or Prison Screech. We may have just discovered the soundtrack to your nightmares. Published to YouTube by Column A in June of 2019. This clip shows a young man in a prison cell, no context given. He speaks to the camera and, in the midst of his monologue, he gives a strange, otherworldly shriek like a velociraptor. Why? Well, YouTubers have a wealth of hypotheses. For example, Lord Woody thinks that the man is sucking the soul out of the cameraman. I just know if I were in this situation, I'd be getting the heck out of there. Number 3.
Yeah, I do believe this sound. That sound will be in my nightmares tonight. No doubt at all. No doubt in my mind at all. That was horrific.
Being followed. Do you feel like someone's pursuing you? Then you should probably trust your gut. Published to YouTube by Upbeat Yamaha in February of 2019. This video follows a motorcyclist minding his own business on the open road. Wearing a GoPro, he manages to capture a white truck in front of him. Nothing out of the ordinary. Ahead, the truck pulls over to the side of the road. This too appears innocent enough, but after passing the white truck and later taking a turn onto a side street, seeing the truck continue along, you probably wouldn't expect what comes next. The biker returns to the main road, and the same white truck now a ways ahead pulls over again, letting him pass a second time. The biker starts to wonder what's going on. Even more worrisome, he thinks the truck is following him. He suspects the driver might be trying to record his license plate to report him for something, although he says he hasn't done anything to report. He again pulls over at an intersection and attempts to wait out the suspect, who has stopped as well. The biker says the man in the truck is attempting to wave him on. After a brief face-off, the biker turns to the left, noting the guy's plate number and saying he was taking pictures of him. While the video doesn't come to any concrete conclusion about what the white truck wanted, the biker suspects that he's dealt with the same man before. Some in the comments think it's probably just some angry boomer who's mad about how loud the bike is. Others advise that if this happens again, to pull into a fire station, as they most certainly will help someone being followed. A cautionary tale if there ever was one. For all we know, this lurker could have had even more sinister motives. Number 2, paranormal motorcycle. What lurks in your alley in the middle of the night? This video may surprise you. Published to YouTube by Tasklock in March of 2021, the security footage was recorded on the 30th of December 2020 at around 4 in the morning. An empty road with a few motorcycles and bicycles parked along each side, still in the darkness, at least for the moment. Suddenly, someone invisible decides to take this bike out for a spin. The motorcycle abruptly pulls out into the road, turning in place. At one point, it slows in its turning, then jerks forward and continues in its path before falling over on the side in the middle of the road. Could this just be something mechanical malfunctioning in the bike? Or did a ghost realize he didn't have enough momentum mid-launch? I've got a challenge for you. Since you've made it this
It's an interesting theory, that's for sure.
abandoned, a remote shanty house in the middle of nowhere. It's gotta be abandoned, right? Posted to r/ghosts by Livid Excuse 1640. This video reminds every paranormal explorer to be always on their guard. The Redditors driving down a dirt road at night in what appears to be the boonies with no lights around apart from a faint, distant glow. And yet in the middle of nowhere they come upon a rundown white house. It's dark and clearly abandoned, or so you think, as the Redditor drives slowly past, shining a flashlight onto the house. He spotlights its empty and broken windows, nothing else, that is, until he zooms in on a center window. Here appears a white hooded figure without discernible features.
I still say that that's a mannequin that was placed there by some pranksters.
The realization of what they're seeing scares them enough to drop their camera and drive away, while many Redditors in the comments believe the figure is a squatter rather than a ghost. This sighting at an assumedly abandoned house would be unsettling regardless. The Redditor writes in the comments, "I've been in the house once and it's like the people living there just up and left clothes in closets, dishes in the sink, toys on the floor. It was wild. I got halfway down the hallway and something that felt like pure evil came over me and I ran back out." He also shares some still photos with varying exposures that he took from the clip. What do you see in the Rorschach ink blot? This is only a test. If you're trying to fall asleep.
Alright. Next up we got Sir Spooks. 5 scary videos to watch if you hate sleep. I don't know. That's something that was promised earlier in the stream and it really failed to deliver.
Hello everyone, my name is Sir Spooks, and today we'll take a look at 5 scary videos to watch.
And, you know, just seeing that right there, that's already scary enough.
Hello everyone, my name is Sir Spooks, and today we'll take a look at 5 scary videos to watch if you hate sleep. So, let's begin. A man named Neon B. White is filming a video for his TikTok account and wants to showcase his piano skills, and is just about ready to begin playing a song. So far so good, right? Well, not necessarily. In fact, little does Neon know, but something creepy happens to him right off the bat. Watch this.
Alright, what's up guys? Neon here. I got bored over the quarantine and I'm trying to learn the piano. So yeah, leave some comments down in the comment section for any suggestions.
It's definitely understandable that Neon does not notice the door handle moving all by
Oh,
itself.
okay, I didn't.
So I
didn't
can't
see
even
that.
begin to imagine the scare he got when he reviewed the footage. Also, 30 seconds later when this happens, take a look at his face.
Okay, so the door just opened. As you can see right here, I was recording just over there, and the door opened. That was interesting. Okay, I'm just gonna go back into my room and completely ignore that happened. The door just closed again, but the other door. I'm not gonna have any of that. I'm just gonna close the door and completely ignore that.
Yeah, no. That's something that happens that you don't ignore.
As soon as this happens, Neon takes it upon himself to get up and investigate the matter further, but is unable to find anything of interest. That is at least not with his own eyes, because his camera captures something rather chilling at the end.
Okay, so the door just opened. As you can see right here, I was recording just over there.
Yeah, I noticed that too. But I thought it was just like a mannequin or something, or some kind of a cloak that he's hanging on his closet door.
When we reached out to Neon about the dark figure, he replied saying he didn't know what it was. So what do you think? Was there actually some sort of creepy ghostly presence in Neon's house that day? Or was this just a faked video in the hopes to get some views? Let me know in the comments.
That one's hard to say, actually, because he seemed genuinely shocked when that door opened by itself. And also, out of the door across the hall from him, where he was, he was way back into his bedroom, and suddenly the door in the room across the hall from him closes by itself as well. I don't know, I'm going real on that one, guys. I think that's actually paranormal activity.
Leonam JS Manuel uploaded a video to his channel in January of 2019 in which he explores an undisclosed area that seems to be quite creepy by the looks of things shown in the video. For the first little while in the upload, Leonam is seemingly unable to find anything besides some debris. Despite this, he continues to press forward and explore just a little bit further, but maybe he should have stopped earlier.
Oh, it's the dog man. Yeah, I've seen this clip a few times prior. It's good to it's good to have an actual video, a full video with him, and not just this clip.
If this is indeed real, then it is quite surprising then that the uploader did not move when he heard this sound near him. Maybe it was just because he was frozen in
Yeah, I was about to say, maybe he's just too frozen in fear from what he was seeing to move.
shock, and in that case, that would make more sense. And as for the creature caught on video, we obviously...
I mean, if I actually genuinely saw this and didn't know what to think, I probably would be like...
We can't be sure if it's real or fake. It could be someone in a costume, or it could be an authentic sighting of what the uploader refers to as the lobisomem. The lobisomem is a creature in South American mythology. In Brazil, it is believed to be a werewolf whose sights are primarily set on attacking women rather than men. It is said to be just a bit over 2 feet tall and resembles a furry monkey. In the video, whatever this creature is can be hard to tell for sure because of the video's low resolution quality to it, as well as the fact that it was all filmed during the night. But the description of the lobisomem seems like it could match the creature depicted in this video. Do you agree? Let me know your ideas in the comments.
Yeah, I said before earlier tonight. If it's a fake, it's really beautifully done because whatever that is, it's actually there. This isn't bad CGI or anything like that.
Mysterio JL shared a video to his Facebook page in March, which sees him using his phone in an attempt to contact spirits from another dimension. We hear him say, "There's a man and a woman," and then he says that they are stuck there. He follows up by asking, "What are you keeping here?" He proceeds to ask a few more questions along those lines, and as you can probably expect, he gets a bit more than he asked for. Take a look.
¿Qué es lo que estás cuidando aquí?
Anda, comunícate. Te puedes manifestar, te puedes comunicar con nosotros.
¡Oye!
¿Qué pedo, güey? ¿Qué
cabrón?
¿Qué pedo?
Why are you running? You told it to make contact. You told it to manifest. Why do you invite it to do said manifestation and then run from it?
Something about the way Mysterio and his friend behind the camera react to this situation sounds quite authentic to me, and the terror in their voices seem real. They are able to flee from the scene before anything else can happen to them, so it's just a good thing that they got out of there when they did, or else who knows. Maybe the spirit would have gotten even angrier and done more sinister things. A YouTuber named Eric Gunner is exploring an extremely creepy abandoned building late at night to document for his channel. During the vast majority of the investigation, he isn't able to find anything. There are some bits of debris scattered, and it's obvious that the building he is exploring has absolutely seen better days. But besides that, everything seems to be perfectly fine. Towards the end of Eric's investigation, he stops to sit down with a friend he went to the building with, and the two of them begin to strike up a conversation. However, the conversation goes from relatively normal to sheer panic in just a matter of moments. Take a look.
Y fíjate que... A ver, espérame tanto. Fíjate si aquí estoy bien, si no puedo moverme. El chiste es que cuando me metí yo, empezaba a subir la quimera, lo que está hasta arriba, y empezamos a... Vámonos ya. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué?
Yeah, I saw it too.
Ahora ve. ¿Qué pedo? No va de haber pasado. Espérense. Vamos a ver. ¿Qué pasó, güey? Ey. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Eh? ¿Había alguien atrás, no?
Gratefully, Eric and his friends are able to escape from the building before that mysterious figure can make a reappearance. But had they waited any longer, who knows if they would have made it out that night.
Oh, I got another too.
In April of 2021.
Hassan Babar. I love this guy's explorations. He goes to some of the creepiest locations. We're in for a treat with this guy.
A man on YouTube named Hassan Babar says that the video you're about to watch was extremely frightening for him to film and to witness the events of in real life. So much so that he says, "I seek refuge in God." But what could be so terrifying that would cause him to react in this way? Well, let's find out. While exploring a creepy looking building, Hassan spends the first few minutes looking around for anything of interest when he turns around and suddenly he sees this.
كان في حد هون وراي. انت مين؟ انت مين يا حبيبي؟ تعال 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 تعال. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ايه؟ طب وينك؟
He proceeds to explore the area a bit further, but he doesn't get to look around for long before something else stops him dead in his tracks.
إذا أنت موجود بالغرفة ظهر لي. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هطول يا أخوان. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء. شايفين؟ بسم الله بسم الله بسم الله بسم الله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Fast forward to a couple of minutes later, and it is clear that Hassan is getting quite freaked out, and understandably so. At this point, I would be rushing to get out of there, but Hassan decides to stay for a bit longer. But that might have been a mistake.
لا إله إلا الله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إيه؟ شو هذا؟ شو الصوت هذا؟ بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا إله.
Now that seems like that might have been enough for him to finally recognize the danger he is in, because he slowly but surely attempts to find his way out of there. But not before getting one last final scare. Take a look.
خليك بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء.
Hassan believes that the child he repeatedly saw that night was a jinn child. Jinn are believed to be supernatural creatures in pre-Islamic Arabian and later Islamic mythology. What do you think? What was the child doing in there with him that night? Was it really a jinn, or was this a setup? I'll let you be the judge.
I don't know. Honestly, that's a tough one, because, you know, if it is a fake, probably one of the best fakes I've ever seen on any paranormal video. But that's why I'm leaning more towards real.
And that was 5 scary.
We're finally getting some good scary ones here, guys. Alright, next we got from Chills. 5 scary videos that'll scare even the brave.
Prepare yourself. These videos are so scary that they've been known to terrify even the bravest of people. Number 5. With the increase in home security systems, people are able to capture the most bizarre moments on what would seem to be another ordinary day. User Prometheus6EQUJ5 made a post to the r/paranormal subreddit detailing an incident that happened to him and his daughter on Thanksgiving 2020. The two of them were in the kitchen preparing for dinner late at night when a brief moment drew their attention away from the task. Without explanation, an empty bottle on a counter a few feet behind them inexplicably tips over. No one else was nearby at the time, and no movement was picked up by the camera's recognition.
Uh-oh, my stream's lagging. Alright. We're back. Alright. It's coming through alright, okay. Alright, so I think it's just on my end then. Maybe my phone's just being all weird and stuff. But as long as you guys can still see it, it means my internet hasn't gone down.
Software. On closer inspection, the bottle topples over as if it were aggressively pushed or flicked with a finger. Both father and daughter notice it, then pause in contemplation over what happened. In the Reddit post,
Pause and contemplate he's still cleaning the counter.
Prometheus explains this was the first such instance that happened, and neither him nor his wife had any relatives pass away around that time. He has made several edits to update people on the situation, which provides a backstory to the events. He explains the house is over 70 years old with various owners prior to him. He says things got strange after he heard noises coming from the attic and decided to investigate. There he found an old rocking chair made for a toddler, as well as most who had owned it in the past 20 years, and all claimed to have not owned the rocking chair. He says strange occurrences started only after he moved the rocking chair into the storm shelter. There are various incidents of spirits becoming attached to objects they held dearly to them in life. Often, moving or tossing such objects can cause distress, usually the catalyst for paranormal activity. Considering the size of the chair and the minor events which transpired, it is possible the spirit could be that of a child, harmless and only causing a mild disturbance. However, with what little information we have so far, it is difficult to tell as a result of the positive response from viewers and the number of views it has garnered. Prometheus is considering live streaming the chair for an entire night. So far, this has not happened, but we certainly hope he does in the hopes of further documenting the strange happenings in his home and whether or not it is related to the chair. Number 4. Humans are not the only ones spying ghosts in our midst. Animals are well known to be sensitive to various stimuli, often accurately predicting earthquakes before they happen, and acting extremely anxious and skittish beforehand. These sensitivities also appear to include sensing paranormal entities. There are countless stories out there of pet owners describing their pets reacting towards unseen figures or becoming distressed prior to a paranormal event occurring. Happy Fox Productions is a channel making short films from comedy to action to drama. Things took a different turn on September 1st, 2020 when the channel uploaded a more meta video. Founder Justin Melson explains he was on vacation with his mother in December of 2019 when his home security picked up something strange. When he got home, he and his mom noticed the cats were acting different. Concerned, they checked the footage from the cameras and found something that shocked and puzzled them. As the video starts, one of the cats is visible on the bed, standing upright and looking around. She then reacts to something near the exit of the room, and right then an unexplained shadow is cast against the door. The shadow has physical features resembling a person, including arms and legs, and appears to be walking past the door and into the bedroom. As it fades from view, the second cat makes its appearance, seemingly following whatever was walking into the room. Both cats acting confused. As the second cat fully enters the room, a TV table in front of the camera rocks, as if something brushed past it. At the same moment, a dark mist briefly appears over the chair behind it before vanishing, and then the door starts closing on its own. The clip ends when the camera suddenly pans to the right, and Melson says it stayed there the remainder of their time away. In the video's description, he explains there wasn't anything out of place besides a few books knocked over, which could easily be dismissed as the cat's doing. But what doesn't make sense to him is he found clumps of cat hair around, a sign his cats were fighting. He found this odd as they had never fought before, and he has no explanation for why. From the sounds of his writing, it would appear he and his mom hadn't experienced anything out of the ordinary before. So why now? Well, people will certainly say this was simply a hoax as the owners have filmmaking experience. It doesn't explain the reaction of the cats. Herding cats means an impossible task for a reason, as cats can be difficult to train, despite being good pets. The confusion in the cat's expressions and their behavior after does sound some alarm bells. It is unknown if anything happened after, but we are hoping there will be a follow-up soon.
I'm a chills on that one. That's literally the only thing keeping me from saying that it's fake, is the cat's genuine reactions.
Number 3. The world's oceans hold both wonders and terrors. People got a glimpse of an example of such mysteries on November 11th, 2007, 7,800 feet down the Gulf of Mexico. The Perdido oil drilling site sent a camera down for a routine inspection when it caught something unexpected. A bizarre creature swam only a few feet away from the rig, sporting unfathomable features. By far the most eye-catching of them were its long tentacles reaching far down below its body. It almost appears to be looking right at the camera, staring and observing just as being observed. Many commenters have likened it to an alien, with some even joking it is an offspring of Cthulhu. The truth is, thankfully, more simple and far less scary. What was actually filmed is known as a big fin squid, a relatively newly discovered species. It was first documented in September 1988 off the coast of Brazil. Due to the depth at which it lives, sightings are rare, and there is still much about it left to be discovered. In fact, it is still unknown how these animals feed, but it is believed they use their long tentacles to drag against the seafloor to catch organisms to feed off. It is also believed they wait for small plankton to bump into them to eat. Such creatures make stories of sea monsters from folklore make much more sense. For centuries, the idea of the giant squid was a myth until it was proven as a real species. On March 17, 2021, members of Museo del Horror traveled to a derelict building in an unknown city in Mexico, live streaming the entire adventure. Just after beginning their investigation, the group ventures to the side of the building. As they come to some stairs on the side, a faint growl can be heard on the audio. None of the participants noticed it during filming, but viewers were quick to point it out in the comments. It sounds either like a growl or an attempt to whisper something, but it is difficult to determine what. From here, they enter the building, which is hollowed out and falling apart. Nothing of note happens until just after the 40-minute mark of the stream. A high-pitched noise can be heard, almost like a screech or another hiss, albeit longer than the previous one heard. It's also possible that this was the sound of something rubbing against another object, similar to metal rubbing against metal. The last speculation was it could be someone breathing in, possibly one of the explorers, although nobody else seems to be around except Alfondo holding the camera, and he starts speaking before the sound goes away.
Si está bien la distancia, todo está bien.
The team decides to conduct a Ouija board session, which is not recommended for amateur explorers, by the way, to see if they can get any activity. Not long after starting, a very faint voice can be heard on the audio. Not explorers, by the way, to see if they...
Okay, I noticed something really strange just now. Alright. Look where the shadow of the pin here is. Look at the shadow right there. Now watch what happens as it's moved away. As the pin's moved away.
They can get any
That is legit creepy. The shadow did not move at all.
Activity. Not long after starting, a very faint voice can be heard on the audio.
¿Hay alguien aquí?
Oh, escucha.
It sounds as if there are words in there, but it is almost impossible to make out. The voice can be heard speaking over questions being asked. Could someone be trying to communicate? Soon they get an answer of yes on the board after being asked a question, and the board remains active for some time. When asked if it is a man, it responds no. Working wide and now known to be sensitive of the paranormal. Could they be distressed at what the team is doing? Or is there another explanation? In the midst of this session, by far the most bizarre event happens. Alfondo's attention is called away to a strange light manifesting on the opposite side of the building from where they are. In the opposite corner, it appears as if a flame has been lit, flickering. Suspicious others might be in the building. They call out and make their way to the area. One of the team members shows a few photos she took, and along with the glow of a fire, the windows make it appear to be daylight outside. However, the video camera always showed the windows to be dark. Furthermore, the photo camera was not using a flash, meaning it could not be a reflection. What could this mean? They decide to do a spirit box session, and instantly, the sounds the box makes sound straight out of a horror movie itself. While it is most likely caused by the rapid switching through radio frequencies, we have never heard another session sound as terrifying as this. Alfondo walks with the device to the other end of the building, and throughout hears some disturbing sounds. First, what sounds like someone wailing in distress. The most disturbing capture of the night is what sounds like a child crying out in fear or pain. It's hard to imagine what could have happened at the location, as it appears some manner of horrors still reside there, endlessly crying out in the afterlife. I've got a challenge for you. Since
Apparently no one ever heeds my warning when I say don't use Ouija boards.
Number 1, this couple is dedicated to, as their description states, the search of paranormal activity in places with terrifying histories, as is sometimes possible when investigating. Ghosts have followed investigators to their homes, and they believe someone they made contact with on a previous investigation did just that. On January 21st, 2021, they hosted a live stream to document what they believed was a haunting in their home. Hoping to document evidence and find answers, they invited the public to join on their session. The first half of the investigation seems to produce little results, but something rather disturbing appears as they venture down the stairs. Through a glazed window overlooks the stairs, The figure of a woman can be seen staring towards the camera. At
yes,
first
I remember
glance,
seeing
it can
this
be
clip.
easily mistaken for a painting, but when inspecting it closer, you can see there is actual 3D depth to it, something a painting would be impossible to have. The figure looks either like a woman with long dark hair or someone wearing a robe. To further prove it is not a painting, the same window is shown a few minutes later and the figure is gone. Furthermore, they venture outside to show the other side, and it is several feet above the ground, making it impossible for anyone to get up there without a ladder. Nothing around the window resembles the figure, as it has simply vanished. As they descend further down the stairs, an orb can be seen flying fast across the top left corner of the screen. Once they reach the bottom step, a loud, low exhale can be heard.
La esfera.
The sound is too low pitched to be either of the couple, as we could hear them breathe beforehand and it doesn't match. It is also possible it was the sound of something sliding, although we cannot see what or if anything moves. Unfortunately, the remainder of the video becomes uneventful and other apparent orbs can be easily explained. For example, while they are filming a mirror, a glowing orb-like spectacle can be seen flying around. However, when the camera's light is turned off, it disappears, meaning it was simply a glare from the light itself. It's terrifying to imagine something becoming attached to you and following you back to your home. It's one of the risks when going on investigations, meaning it is not for the faint of heart. It also shows how there are more than just the physical dangers on these adventures, with even professional investigators such as Ghost Adventures suffering from severe states of paranormal oppression and even possession. It goes as a warning for those who decide to take up the cause for themselves. Take heed and be aware of what you are getting into, even if you are a skeptic or non-believer. Respect the locations you are visiting. Some videos are...
Alright. Yeah, yeah, that was live. There's no way that could have been edited. Alright guys, here we go. My favorite channel, Nuke's Top 5. Top 5 scary ghost videos that'll flip your wig.
Top 5 ghosts caught on camera. Light and shadow. The Haunted Side Paranormal Investigation Team goes to investigate the allegedly haunted Old Nevada State Prison. The prison was built in 1862 and is the oldest prison in the western United States. It was also the site of the world's very first gas chamber. The prison was closed in 2012, but over its 150-year history, it housed some of the roughest and most violent prisoners in the world. And the Nevada State Prison was said to be even more brutal than its inmates. Hundreds of prisoners lost their lives inside these walls. So, not surprisingly, the prison is said to be extremely haunted by the ghosts of angry former inmates. The Haunted Side Paranormal Investigations team, Patrick and Jason, head into the Old Nevada State Prison to investigate the reports of supernatural activity. And they soon find that those reports just might be true. As the guys start their investigation, they are using a spirit box in an attempt to communicate with any ghost that might be present. They almost immediately begin to hear some strange sounds down an empty hallway. So, Patrick simply asks who's down there, expecting to get a response from his spirit box. But he gets a very different reply.
Hello? Who's back there? Did you hear me?
No.
I heard me.
What was that?
I swear I heard me.
Patrick actually seems to receive a real life answer to
I swear. Did you hear me?
I heard it that time.
I heard me. I swear.
The guys move on and start to explore the prison, but there are more unexplained sounds.
Okay.
What the hell was that, dude? What was that? Where is that coming from?
And then their creepy encounters inside the prison start to get a bit more physical.
You did it. It's not windy outside, dude. It is not. Dude, what was that? It's like the door tried to shut on me. Dude. Did you hear it?
I heard it. Oh, Jesus. That door just came right back at me. There's no reason it should have done that. Patrick?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I was coming out of that door and something pushed it back into me.
Something in the prison seems to literally be trying to shut the guys out. But regardless, the Haunted Side guys continue their investigation.
That's dumb.
And this is when things get really weird.
Or, in other words, it did not go well.
Jason is casually filming Patrick as he walks down one of the prison hallways. In order to try to provoke some sort of supernatural activity, Patrick is acting as if he is a new inmate who just arrived at the Nevada State Prison. And then this happens.
I'm the newest prisoner. Which cell's mine?
Did you see it? Even though the bright light shining on Patrick from the camera.
Right.
I'm the newest prisoner. Which cell's mine?
Did you see it?
I did not.
Even though the bright light shining on Patrick from the camera doesn't change at all, some odd black shadow suddenly envelops most of Patrick's body, blocking out the light. The Haunted Side team only noticed this strange light anomaly after reviewing their video later. There is no logical explanation as to why Patrick would suddenly be covered in darkness, even though a bright camera light is shining directly at
I didn't notice that.
him. So, did the Haunted Side guys actually encounter the ghosts of angry inmates that still haunt the Nevada State Prison?
They did.
And if not, just what happened to the light in this disturbing shot? Let me know what you think. You can check out all of the Haunted Side's creepy paranormal investigations over on their YouTube channel, The Haunted Side Paranormal Investigations. Watch your head. Two friends in Japan are out to explore an eerie bridge that locals claim to be extremely haunted. The very high bridge has unfortunately become a place where distressed people come to tragically end their lives. It is said that several people jump from this bridge every year, and because of these tragic events, a fence had to be built above the bridge guardrails. The two investigators have heard the stories of the paranormal activity that supposedly takes place on the bridge, and out of curiosity, they decide to investigate. As they walk over the bridge, they record video and snap a few photos. What happens next is downright chilling.
저길이 있던가? 나 그러게도 얼마나 있을 텐가 보네.
그렇지.
난 들어가게.
俺も撮った。そこ立ってる。
お？なんかつってる？
いや、別に何も。
ちょ見して。
いや、見ない方がいい。
なんで？
いや。
ちょ見せ。
はい。
ちょっと待って、やばくない？
ないよね。
やばくない？
顔映ってないんで、ちょっと待って。これはやったら。
The hell? His face is gone.
顔とか映ってる。
And all those orbs around him.
それだけ。
ちょっと待って。ちょっと待ってくれない？どういうこと？
やばい。帰ろう。
They are shocked when they see that in one of their photos, the investigator's head is missing. So could the explorers on the bridge have been cursed by an angry spirit? And why is just this guy's head missing from the photo? I leave it up to you to decide. You can watch this full video and many more creepy Japanese hauntings over on the YouTube channel, Fourth Wall. If you see a video that you think would be perfect for the top 5, or if you have a ghost hunting channel and you caught something great, contact me at nukestop5@gmail.com. I think I saw it. The YouTube channel Equilibrium Collective says that one of their viewers caught a very disturbing clip on their home security camera.
We've received this video from one of our viewers. The lady's identity is obscured for her privacy. There are a few dust particles floating about. But what is this?
Did you see?
Did you see it?
Yeah. Did you see it? Anyway, a creepy translucent mist seems to rise from the chair and pass right in front of the camera. And then a smaller mist seems to shoot back in the opposite direction. So is this something paranormal? Or could it simply be explained away as some very odd natural phenomena?
I have
decide.
no idea, man.
Be sure to check out the channel Equilibrium Collective with hosts Carrie Ann and Sarah for live weekly podcasts about all things paranormal. Hider in the Halls. Popular urban explorer Christopher Hill from the YouTube channel Urbex Hill sets out to explore another strange location, the abandoned Central High School in Cleveland, Ohio. The large building was built back in 1940, but eventually severe structural damage made the school too unsafe for students. It was closed down in 2013. Today, Central High School just sits rotting away after years of neglect. Now, many believe that the 80-year-old abandoned school is haunted by the ghosts of former students and faculty. However, YouTuber Urbex Hill is more worried about real people that might be lurking or even living inside the old high school. During his exploration, Chris is descending a staircase when something chills him to the core. He hears the sound of something falling and then being dragged across the floor. When he looks up, what appears to be either a chair or a school desk seems to have been pushed through the stairs railing. dangerously close to falling. Chris suspects that he might not be alone and decides to make his way towards the exit. But it's not over just yet. After something is thrown from one of the upper floors, almost hitting Chris, he decides to just get out of there. Later, when Chris uploads his exploration video to YouTube, viewers of his channel are quick to point out that someone or something got a lot closer to him than he even realized. Take a very close look. Did you see it? A mysterious dark figure can be seen hiding behind a pillar in
I did see that. I just didn't know if that was what I was supposed to look for.
the school's locker room. Chris has no idea what he just captured and actually enters the locker room and walks right by. But there's no one there. And Urbex Hill's exploration only gets creepier as he's investigating one of the upper floor hallways. Again, take a very close look. What appears to be the same mysterious figure from earlier can be seen quickly darting out of sight behind one of the classroom doors. So, was out of what appears to be the same mysterious figure from earlier can be seen quick. Was something following Chris throughout the school without him knowing? Is Central High School actually haunted? Or was Chris just scared away by an angry homeless squatter? Let me know what you think down in the comments. You can watch Christopher Hill's full exploration
Or both. Either way.
of the abandoned school and many more
Either way, it's probably in his best interest to not go back there.
of Cleveland's creepy historic locations over on his YouTube channel, Urbex Hill. Meanwhile, on TikTok, TikToker Days In
He's ending it on the Meanwhile on TikTok segment again, huh?
Nights Out says that he works the overnight shift in what he believes to be a very haunted hotel.
Okay, so I'm sitting here behind the desk, and it's been quiet up till now, but I just heard something. So of course, since I'm responsible here for tonight, I have to go and figure out what exactly it was. I just literally heard something and I immediately turned on the hell? Okay, so that wasn't there before, but okay. Oh my. Okay, let's not. You know what? You can have the place.
He says that the fourth floor is under renovations, so there are no guests on that floor. He also says that that fourth floor is the most supernaturally active. Late one night, he decides to record himself as he explores that one very haunted floor.
Okay, I'm going. Something. Okay, clear. Okay, I'm going back downstairs, and I don't think I'm ever gonna come up here again. Oh my god, oh my god. Oh god, that's fucking it. Stop recording. Damn it. Damn it. I was not even paying attention to where I was going. I ran past the damn stairs. We're not gonna... Oh, shit.
Did you hear it? As TikToker Days In, Nights Out is exploring the 4th floor, a strange whispering or hissing voice can be heard that seems to be following him as he walks.
Okay, clear. Okay, I'm going back downstairs and I don't think I'm ever gonna come up here again.
So did TikToker Days In, Nights Out catch real paranormal activity in a haunted hotel?
Yeah.
Or is it all just an elaborate TikTok hoax? You decide.
I'm willing to believe
in this next video, TikTok user Fernando Victor Olive is working the night shift with his fellow workers at a train yard. Around 3:30 a.m., he decides to record a few videos to show what the night shift at the train yard is like. But after he
I remember this one too.
uploads the videos, his viewers notice something in one of the clips. Something shocking. It looks as
Did you see it?
if someone is standing in one of the train doors. Now again, this train is locked and parked in the train yard in the middle of the night. It is supposed to be completely empty. So who or what is this? Now what makes this video even more compelling is the fact that Fernando has never posted any other video related to the paranormal on his TikTok. So could this figure be something supernatural? Or could it just be a very strange trick of the light? You decide. Thanks for watching. Check out my Instagram here.
Alright. That's gonna end this one, guys. A bit of a disappointing one, to say the least. I was definitely expecting a lot more scares from these videos, but other than some good ones from Sir Spooks and Duke's Top 5, this one was kind of a letdown. But thank you guys for joining me on this. I still had fun. I still have fun either way. And I will catch you guys next week for the next one. And tune in tomorrow for another stream of A Plague Tale: Innocence. I'm really loving that game. If you want to go check it out, I suggest you look it up. And that's about it. Thanks for joining, and have a good night.